Well, good morning, everyone, and welcome to the North San Diego County Association of Realtors webinar this morning with Michael Simpson. Want to make money selling commercial properties? Before I turn it over to Michael, I want to make sure that everyone remembers to register for our awards show coming up on November the 20th at 10 a.m. So this will be our first Zoom award show, so make sure you register. So we'll turn it over to Michael Simpson, and he will take it from here.
Good morning. Sorry. I thought that was going to be a little bit longer. Good morning, everybody. So nice to not see you. Hey, listen, this is going to be a real informative webinar for you. I'm going to throw a lot of information at you this morning that is going to hopefully help you succeed at a very high level. I'm going to ask that you participate in the chat bar, please, so that we can get some sort of interaction with you. That way, I know if you're, the more I know about a class or a room, an audience, the more we can customize what we're saying to that room. So right now, I don't know who's out there. I don't know who's in the room. And so it's really hard to do that. So the more you can, participate with our questions that we ask you in the chat, the better. If we can get a, 98, 95% response when we ask a question from you all, that certainly makes it much, much better and more interactive for you, because you're here to learn, right? You're not here just to waste the time that is available. This hour and a half it can be two things for you. It can be, well, that was okay. Or it can be, wow, that was really powerful and really good, and it's going to help me go into the next year making some money, right? Your choice. So 7 immutable laws of success. Now, these are 7 laws that I feel like you really have to follow if you want to succeed in commercial real estate and residential real estate in any business whatsoever. While we are talking, feel free to, I see a couple of you have said good morning. Good morning, Angela, in the chat. Feel free to put your name out there, throw it out there, and what city and state. I assume everyone's down in the San Diego area. So maybe just say good morning. And if you're in another area outside of San Diego, you can let us know that. Other than that, you're probably all San Diego. So these laws are so important. And this is kind of this I'm going to warn you, that feels a little bit like a push, like someone's pushing you on the shoulder a little bit, because isn't that what talent does? Isn't that what a coach is supposed to do, is kick you in the butt, right? Tell you what you're doing wrong, tell you what you need to do better. Isn't that what we all really maybe not want necessarily, because we don't like the way it feels, but we like the outcome, right? It's just like I'm going to this trainer now, and I've been going since March, since they shut down my 24-hour fitness. So I've been going to this private trainer, and oh my gosh, I thought I was in great shape. No, I was mistaken, because I would go to a certain level and then I would stop, okay, I'm good, I'm tired. Well, no, he pushes you harder and says, come on, no, you can give me a little bit more, right? And that's how you progress. So these laws are so important. The mindset, guys, the mindset can literally get us physically ill. We can go from a mental, worrying to physically ill. Your mind is so powerful. Your brain is so powerful. It has the power to literally make you physically sick, going from here to physically sick. That's the power. That's one example. I mean, we could sit here and share all kinds of examples of how people have got this enormous amount of power when they're under pressure or fear, maybe in a car accident, a bike accident, things like that. So the mind is super powerful. So don't underestimate what we're talking about this morning with this. This is an hour and a half. I'll take it right up to about 11:30. And then we'll ask some questions. We'll stop every now and then and see if anybody has any questions. And Stephen, my partner with business development, is here today, and he'll field the questions in the chat bar. So feel free to load them up if you have any questions. And then if he sees that there's several or a lot going in, then I'll pause and answer some of those questions you guys have. And then Dana's here with us today as well. Good to see you. Good morning, Dana, our customer service right arm. Dana, put your contact information in the chat bar, if you would, please, your email address. And then if you guys have any questions on any of our other training events, our classes that we've got a lot going on right now. Feel free to reach out to Dana. Real quick, while I'm thinking about this, we have a one-day training course that we're doing tomorrow. It's all day, right, Stephen? Yeah, tomorrow's Wednesday. All day tomorrow. Stephen's doing that class. It's 9 to 5. It's $39. It is incredible. It's probably one of our favorite courses. We have a top agent panel that we're doing in December. That's free. Everything we're doing now is virtual right now. That's free. We've got we've got a bunch of different people coming in and sharing how they're succeeding during these times. And again, there's no charge for that top agent panel. Dana can put the date and the time of the top agent panel in there as well. And contact Dana for details on getting the link to participate in that, or anything that I say throughout this event that we're doing this morning. So I started real estate in 1988, and I took a commercial class. I was doing 100 deals a year. And like a lot of agents, what happened was I had somebody throw a lead at me, and they threw this commercial lead to me, and they said, "Hey, Michael, you did a good job on our last deal that you did. Can you do commercial real estate? Can you help me with this commercial deal?" And of course, I said what almost every residential real estate agent says when that happens, which is, "Sure, of course I can help you." And so I took that lead on that commercial deal, and I struggled. I didn't know what I was doing. I was used to using the comparable approach to determine value, and I wasn't familiar with these tenants and this income approach and the lenders and the way they look at the deal differently. And so I really struggled, honestly, through that transaction. But boy, did I love it. I felt absolutely in love with it. And so I had this opportunity to take this commercial class. A flyer was put in my box, and it was a real intense class. I saw the flyer and I said, "Oh my gosh, this is a sign," and I know to this day it really was a sign. So I took the class, and I was just couldn't wait till the next day. It was like, this is the best. I can't wait until this class comes on again. It's all I could think about. So the instructor picked up on all that, and he called me after the class and said, "Hey, Michael, if you come over to my office and help me build a commercial division, I'll mentor you." And so I thought, wow, okay, cool. What a great opportunity. So I go over to this office. It's a RE/MAX office right up the street here from where I'm at right now, here in Seal Beach. And I started helping him build a commercial division. I was time blocking for my commercial sales, because remember, I was new to commercial real estate. So I time blocked an hour in the morning and an hour in the afternoon for my commercial business, because I was still doing residential sales. And I started helping him build a commercial division. And by the way, when I time blocked those 2 hours, I time blocked my 2 hours, and I look up, and after a while of just kind of grinding away, I look up, and my commercial business is paying me more than my residential business is paying me, doing 100 deals a year. Let me say that again. I time block 2 hours a day in commercial real estate. And I looked up after a little while, and my commercial business was paying me more than my residential business was paying me, doing 100 deals a year. So what's your aha there? Your aha should be, oh my gosh, you can make a ton of money in commercial real estate if you do this correct. That's what my aha was, certainly from that. And real quick, I like the logical side of the business versus the emotional side of the business. The residential real estate can be so emotional. I liked the 9 to 5 mentality, Monday through Friday, pretty much, instead of the evenings and weekends. Because see, I was doing open houses every single weekend, and Saturdays and Sundays both. So I really was working 7 days a week. I was putting in 14-hour days, and I was dealing with all these emotional clients. Does it sound familiar? And so I was just kind of tired of all that, right? And so, of course, the big commissions, I really enjoy the big commissions that are in commercial real estate. So I really loved all of that. And so just to finish that up, those are some differences between residential and commercial real estate. And so I time block. I had a bunch of success in commercial real estate. Then I opened up a couple of franchises, a Keller Williams franchise in Long Beach, and I opened up a second one and a third one in around Long Beach area. We grew and grew and grew, about 600 agents. And then way back about 8 years ago now, it's been, I just couldn't keep up. There was too much going on. And so I started asking myself, what do you really like? And I didn't like being a broker of record and managing agents and all that comes with that. And the BRE was coming around versus the DRE at that time. And all the regulations were changing. I was like, I don't want to do this. So I brought in other people to run my franchises, and it freed me up to what I'm doing now, which is really coaching, speaking, training across the country. So that's my background. That's my history. That is how I got here today. So, hey, there's 3 different types of agents out there. Okay, so here we go. Wake up, participation time. Time for you to pull out your keyboard, chat, give us an answer here. There's 23 of you out there, so we should see 19 responses to this question, because there's 3 different types of agents that usually come to these classes, and this is really important for you to answer, so I have an idea why you're here this morning. Agent number 1 says, you know what, Michael, I'm just here to check this out. I don't know about this commercial real estate stuff. I'm doing residential real estate, but I've always been curious about commercial real estate. That's agent number 1. Not really sure, just looking. Okay, you're agent number 1. Agent number 2 says, oh no, I know I want to do commercial real estate, or I already am. And I want to keep my residential business going though at the same time. So I'm the residential agent that's doing both right now. I'm agent number 2. Agent number 3 says, I'm doing only full-time commercial real estate today. Okay, so give us in the chat, are you number 1, number 2, number 3, please? And this will give us a really good idea of who's on with us this morning. And again, we should see, 19, 18 of you responding here. So I see a 3 from Lev, Brandy 2, Corinne, sorry if I'm pronouncing your name wrong, 1, Claudia 1, Richard 2, Angela's a 3, thinking about a 2, Joe is a 2, Kathy's a 2. I'm new right now, so only number 2. So I think I saw 1 number 3. So that's really helpful for me. Thank you so much for doing that, because you see what that says. If there's that number 2, I'm sorry, that's number 2 thinking about a 3, and then there is 1 3. So everyone on here right now is either 1 or 2, with the exception of maybe a 1 or 2 of you who are considering being a 3, or maybe 1 is a 3. Joe looks like he's particularly commercial multifamily. So the other reason I like to do this, it's always cool when we can do it in a room, live room. Those days will be back sometime in the future, guys, but maybe a while, right? But I like to do that because I'll point out somebody like Joe, who's a commercial agent that's saying I'm number 3, and I work with particular commercial multifamily. So then you have a contact in your area that you have, you can go to for when you have a lead or a deal or things like that. And usually those commercial agents, for the most part, are going to be pretty receptive to trying to help or do a referral or whatever the case. So thanks for participating with that. And that gives us an idea of who's out here this morning or afternoon. So we did this during COVID. When COVID kicked in, we had to adjust. We were traveling, we were flying and everything. And then of course we had to adjust. So we started doing this virtually, and the future is here, but it's unevenly distributed. I saw this, the first time I saw this, I remember I saw this, maybe you've seen some of this or heard this on the radio and TV and things, where it says, we're all in this together. And I saw this, I remember I was really frustrated. It was around April, and I was mad. I'm not gonna lie, I had a hard time there for a while with this, with people telling me what I could and couldn't do. I'm not good at that. Food, we had delivery challenges with food, finding food with vegetables and apples and the healthy things. The gym got shut down, but my liquor showed up. Alcohol showed up within an hour, and I thought, well, that's interesting. I can get alcohol. I can go right up the street and I can smoke as much marijuana as I want, because it's essential, as a matter of fact. But I can't get apples and oranges or carrots. Isn't that interesting? And so I just started getting frustrated with the whole situation. I can't go work out. I can't, you know what I mean? And so you can do this, but you can't do that. It doesn't make any sense. And so I was having a pity party, and I remember I was watching TV, and there was a commercial came on, and an NBA basketball player came on, and he was holding this basketball. I won't say who it was, but he's in the middle of his gym, and his gym had glass walls and windows all around his beautiful gym, and his gym was just bigger than the one up the street, the entire high school. And he had the background. You could see behind him, you could see his pool, you could see his landscape, You can see his waterfall from his jacuzzi to the pool and this beautiful view. And you can see it was a beautiful house, really large mansion type home. And he said, he's standing there saying, we're all in this together. And I'm thinking, what? Because my house doesn't look anything like that. I don't have a gym, it doesn't look anything like that. And so it really struck me as guys and gals, when a market shifts like it has, and it did, it's an opportunity for you. And we're not all in this together. You never will be all in this together. It's called a transfer of wealth is what happens. There's a huge transfer of wealth that's occurring right in front of our very eyes. And it always happens, especially when there's a market shift. You don't believe me? Just look up the billionaires and see what's happening with their revenue streams over the past several months since COVID. They're going up by billions. Meanwhile, you have the opposite end of that where people are literally in lines trying to get food. They're out of a job. So we're not all in this together, okay? Don't fool yourself with that. There's a huge transfer of wealth that's occurring. Which side do you want to be on? Do you want to be on the side that's having money going out, or do you want to be on the side that's having money coming in? So one of the things I did with Stephen and Dana early on back in March when we got shut down is I said, I've seen probably 3 or 4 market shifts in my time. And I remember what worked well and what didn't work so well during those market shifts. And I want to start sharing what has worked for me and Stephen and our team during these market shifts so that I can help you. I can help people get in position to capture your unfair share of wealth. And that's what we're doing right now is we're helping people learn how to capture their unfair share of the wealth that's out there. So keep that in mind. And it starts with getting up and taking action, right? If you just hurry out of the bed to get to the couch, to your Netflix series, well, you're probably, by the way, 80% of the real estate population is right that's it right there. 80% of the real estate population, that's what they're still doing. Oh my gosh, I don't know what to do. I'm panicking. I don't know how to get this, how to take advantage of how to do business in this current environment that we're in. So guess what? I'm just going to freeze and panic and not do anything, paralyzed. Maybe some real estate agents that are doing that. So kudos to you folks for being on here, and hopefully you're engaged and you're plugged in, you're taking notes, you're paying attention, and you're actually trying to make a difference in your life. Good for you. Because that's how you do it. That's how you start to capture your unfair share, is just by keeping going and pressing the foot on the gas and doing the right things. The other key to this is learning and being knowledgeable so that you can provide value to property owners and to landlords and tenants. A skilled and knowledgeable professional who can work with landlords, tenants, and even lenders will be extremely valuable during this time. See, when the market is hot, when the sellers, especially because we're really talking about sellers right now, when the market's hot and you're contacting property owners, asking them if they need any help or have any questions or want to sell and things like this, well, they're no thank you, no thank you, no thank you, I'm good, because they don't really feel like they need anybody, right? Because things are so hot. But guess what happens when markets shift? And certainly during these difficult, challenging times that we're in, well, they need help. They have questions. See, look at what's going on right now. We have this is eviction moratoriums in some states differ by, so there's all these moratoriums. Sorry, I think I missed a slide when I transferred this over. So there's evictions and moratoriums, and in some states they differ by county and even by the city within the same county. So a lot of times we've got multiple cities and states and counties on our webinars that we're doing. Some cities and counties have imposed eviction moratoriums only on residential property, and others on both commercial as well as residential. Sometimes, even when the moratorium covers both commercial and residential property, the type of property is handled differently. So sometimes, even though there's a moratorium on commercial, the type, like multifamily versus triple net, for example, is going to be handled a little differently. In some places, the eviction moratorium imposes obligations on the tenant in order to receive the protection of the moratorium. And in some places, it's on the owner the landlord is obligated to notify the tenant in advance of the tenant's moratorium, right? So it can be confusing. So this is what I'm talking about. See, is us keeping up, is the moratorium through the end of the year? Or are they going to extend it? Did they extend it? And are you sure they did in your county, or is it different in your city? right? Because we're here in the San Diego area, so we've got multiple different counties and cities and areas and regulations. Just like I do, I'm sitting here in Seal Beach, so I'm on the border of LA County and Orange County. So I can go to Long Beach, LA County, and I'm going to have different ordinances and rules than I go down to Orange County. So you understanding all of that and understanding what people can and can't do is extremely valuable, because it's not that easy to keep up with everything that's going on. And a lot of the property owners, they have questions. I remember I had one of my coaching members, when this first started, he was somewhat new to commercial real estate, even though he's having a ton of success. And he said, Michael, I just had one of my owners ask me this question. He said, gosh, can I even sell because the tenants stopped paying and there's a moratorium on foreclosures? And what do I do? What do I say? See, and so this is what I'm talking about. If you don't know what to say to that, well, then guess what? You need to learn. You need to get trained up and skilled and knowledgeable so that you can respond to that appropriately and help that person. And that's what we're talking about here. The more knowledge and more educated and professional and experience you can get in this market, the more value you can provide to a property owner or an investor who's buying. And that's what we're talking about, is being valuable so that you can consult instead of selling with these investors that are out there. So, and then compounding the confusion are separate court closures and orders not to issue summons and unlawful detainer matters, or for sheriff not to do lockout. So it's just confusing. To top it all off, moratoriums are changing from week to week or even day to day, and they're probably going to for a little while here through next year would be my guess. So a skilled and knowledgeable professional who can work with landlords, tenants, and even lenders will be extremely valuable during this time. Here's what we're going to get into are the 7 laws of success. And the 7 different laws of success. And if there's interest, by the way, I have some things in my head that are, I believe, are happening right now in terms of the market that are going to appear. And if you'd like me to talk about that before I end this webinar, just let us, Stephen, know that you would like me to have that conversation. It's not a big, long, drawn-out conversation. You may not agree, because I don't have the crystal globe or expert, but I've seen 3 or 4 market shifts, and I kind of have a feeling of what I think is around the corner for you. So if there's interest there, let Stephen know, and I'll stop and talk about that at the before we stop today. This is the 7 immutable laws. Number 1, systems conversations, budget marketing, delegating for high-dollar activities, unique interest-peaking messages separate you from everyone else, rules to follow, hoops to jump through, model action, focus, discipline, confidence, control for business. Stephen or Dana, do you know if they have the ability to get these slides or slide deck or, excuse me, a handout of the stuff, or did we talk about that at all with Shirley?
No,
We did.
Yeah, but if we send it to Shirley, she could probably distribute it.
Can we just put it in the chat for them? No. Okay, so Shirley has to do that. So are you guys awake out there? If anybody wants a copy of this PDF, let Stephen know. How are they doing, Stephen? Are they responding to you? Are they reacting a little
Yeah,
bit?
we're getting a couple responses. Let us know if you want Michael to have that conversation. I think right now everyone is saying yes to the immutable laws slide deck.
Awesome.
And we do have two questions.
Okay, so I'll handle those questions real quick before I jump in.
Okay, yeah, they're quick ones. So Tom had asked, is it a good time to think about making a switch from residential to commercial due to COVID?
So Tom, that's a great question, but it's hard for me to answer without really hitting you with a bunch of questions. Are you new? How long have you been in the business? What's your sphere of influence like? What's your database? What do you do right now to get business? How are you getting your business? How much business are you doing? Lots and lots. Do you have a team? Do you have an assistant? Lots and lots of questions for me to really properly answer that question. But I kind of feel like you don't have to just do one or the other. I know there's lots of people who disagree with me and say that real estate agents should do only residential or they should do only commercial. And I'm living proof that that's hogwash. Okay. And I have come to our top agent panel. You'll see all these agents that are doing both at a very high level. You can have teams and you have a residential person and a commercial person, but it's all under the team. it just shouldn't be a blanket statement that you have to do one or the other. You can do both, and depending on how structured you are would be the answer to that question. But commercial has opportunities and challenges, and we just did this. We have a webinar, a series that we do every 2 hours. I would encourage you guys to go to our Facebook, or I'm sorry, our website, which is Dana will put our contact information in there with all of our buttons. Dana, get them in all of our YouTube, Facebook, website, and just follow us, because we've got a lot of things. We're doing a ton of stuff right now in terms of education and training. And we were doing this series. It's every Thursday at 1 p.m. for 2 hours. It's free. And the reason I'm kind of hesitating, pausing, is because we're just kind of wrapping that series up, because it's coming towards the end of the year, and we don't really have the next year's schedule completed for that yet, for that series, because we're so busy right now. But that's something that you can plug into as well. And we just did this topic last Thursday on sellers and listings, and we talked about the opportunities and challenges of different product types. And I went through all 4 of them, really the big 4: office, retail, industrial, and multifamily. Of course, hotel, motel Holiday Inn is in there as well. Hospitality. Some of you guys got that, some of you didn't. And then we talked about the opportunities and challenges. So even if I said, yeah, great time to get into commercial real estate, if I gave you that as an answer, I would turn around and say, but there's a caveat. And the caveat would be there's certain product types that are doing really well, and there's certain product types that are doing okay, and there's some product types that aren't doing so good, like hospitality or office. So I would not suggest that those 2 product types for sure right now. Really, retail could be a hit or miss depending on the tenants, right? So it's more of an in-depth conversation, but it certainly is a great question.
And the Angela did get the hotel motel. She finished the song lyrics. I just had to point that out. But he also asked, is there less competition in commercial real estate space versus residential?
Yeah, there's probably less competition, but there's more skilled people who've been around for a while. You have a lot of I shouldn't say, I almost said a lot of, mature, a lot of experienced people. So don't let that stop you, though. It's all about, to me, listen, it's all about, what do I want? Who am I? Am I a highly social butterfly who loves seeing people's dreams come true and getting the first home, buying that first home? Do I really enjoy that? Do I enjoy working with emotional people? Because that residential world is emotional. Things change. It's based on emotions for the most part, those decisions. And so do I like numbers? Do I like spreadsheets and formulas and calculations? And would I rather work, more business environment, because your commercial people or investors and agents are more business versus, emotional. So those would be the things. And take a DISC, a behavior assessment of yourself, and do the DISC personality styles and know who you are. That to me is more important than, and what do I like? What gets me? Because for example, I told you I couldn't wait till the next class in that commercial real estate. I couldn't wait for the next one. I was so excited. See, so I love it. This to me is not work at all. I love doing this. Ask me to go sell a house. Ugh, look at my face. I mean, immediately I'm like, ugh, I don't even want to go have the conversation. And then I don't want to hear somebody walking through talking about the tile and the carpet. It's like, come on, you can put new carpet. I'm done. I don't want to do that. See, so it's not now. And then once you figure out who you are, what you would like to do and prefer, then we talk strategically. Okay, now that you've decided this, let me strategically make some suggestions about how you should go about that. Awesome.
All right. And there are 2 other questions. I'm going to let you get into the material though, or do you want me to go into those questions?
Go ahead. I'll try to.
Okay. Kathy had asked, do most agents that venture into commercial, the commercial section specialize in a particular category?
Yes. Yeah. I love these questions because, Chief, I love the interaction. You know this,
Yeah.
how I love the, sorry if it's, if you're not liking the interaction, but it seems like I'm getting some similar patterns here along the lines of getting into commercial. So it's important. And yes, especially in these areas, like we're in San Diego right now, right? Well, you are, I'm in Seal Beach, but most of you are in San Diego area, probably a densely populated area. Yeah, you want to specialize. If you get into a rural area where you have a lot of people who have to kind of do multi product types and do a lot of different things to succeed at a high level, but you don't have to do that in these busy populated areas. And you should specialize instead of being a jack of all trades, master of none, right? You want to be careful of that. That's why people say only do residential or only do commercial, right? Is because they don't realize that there are effective ways to be highly effective at being a residential agent. But you do want to be careful about trying to do too many different things and not being able to do anything good. The other reasons for that is because you have tools. So if I said I'm going to specialize in multifamily, okay, I'm going to say, okay, here's what you need to do. This, and this, and this, and this. Here's the tools you need to have, that, and that. And that would be just for multifamily alone. And then if they said, well, I'd also like to do a little bit of industrial, I'm going to say, okay, well, that's a whole nother thing. Let me give you this, and this. See, so it's an awful lot to try to do. Going into commercial is just another thing altogether, and then saying, okay, I need to go into one product type. That's a whole nother thing. And if you try to go into two or more, it gets really to be a lot, especially in the beginning.
Okay, and then before I get to this last question, I just wanted to, because I heard where you're going with Tom's questions. The one thing that I like about market shifts is, and especially how this market shift has happened with COVID, is this is really a great time to create relationships. And like our buddy Rich always says, I've never done a deal with somebody that I didn't have a relationship with. Yeah. So checking in on people, developing relationships. This has been one of the most phenomenal markets when it comes to being able to get people either on the phone or on a Zoom call, because everybody's stuck at home, and you can actually really make strides with your so in some of the areas that we point out in our classes, with those relationships to actually get your first, second, or third deal.
Yeah, great points.
But the last question from Lev was, do you offer mentorship? I have been in the industry for about 7 years between management and brokerage. I just jumped ship and started my own firm. I'm in need of a mentor to guide me.
Yeah, we do. I think what I would suggest you do, what I'm here to do today is just kind of give you some information, right? Wet your whistle, as they say, and get you some information. And if you'd like, some of you are on here saying, I may not like it, right? You're number one and you're not sure if it's going to work for you. So some of us are going to say, I don't think this is for me right now. And then others are going to say, wow, this is really kind of cool. I'm liking this. Then what I'm going to say is, hey, let's get you into like our 3-day course, for example, and plug into that. And let me teach you, train you more, get you more systems on marketing and how you go out and actually get business and things like that. And then during our 3-day events is when we kind of unload. We come in and we say, hey, look, we do coaching. Here's how much that is. And here's the way that works. We also have a mentorship program that we have. And here's how that is. And here's how that works. And here's the differences. So I would say that would be kind of your path that you should go down. And the reason I suggest that is because unless you're going to go to a full-time commercial firm and give up residential real estate altogether and say, I just want to do only commercial real estate and commit to being a junior, what we call a junior, which is a mentor. So junior, senior is what the real term is, which is the same as mentor, mentee. If you're going to do that, then you could probably do that and find somebody to help you. But if you don't do that, you're not going to really have anybody that's interested in helping you, because you have to learn the basic fundamentals, cap rates, return on investment, NOI, SGI, all that stuff that Steven's going to teach tomorrow in the 1-day course. All that stuff that we go into in our 3-day course. You got to get those basic fundamentals down, and then you'll have people who are okay mentoring you. So great questions there. Let's get rolling on this. And then I'm happy to come back and answer more. You want to have systems. So number one is 6 to 8 conversations per day, right? So we should have a certain amount of conversations each and every day. We want to use systems to generate leads, and then we want to use scripts to convert them. Okay, write that down. Use systems to generate leads, and then use scripts to convert them. Okay, so first of all, we want to have conversations every single day, and then in some of our other classes we talk about what do you say, who do you target, how do you find people to approach them, and what do you say, right? But we all know we should be talking to people each and every day about, in this case, if they want to buy investment property. And by the way, we talk a lot about not just commercial real estate, about investing and about being investors and working with investors. All those you should be doing. You should be considering how you can be an investor and invest in property and own your own property, and how you can work with investors. So a single family home flipper, I mean, think of what these investors are doing right now. Most of them, my experience right now has been, I don't want to do anything until the election. Or possibly the end of the year. So a lot of them honestly have paused, which is understandable because there's too much uncertainty that's been going, but that's about to clear up. And it kind of leads me into, it leads into that question or thought that I had, that I said earlier about the market, if you guys are interested in me talking about that later. But we should be having conversations with people, and these investors are gearing up. When did they buy? They buy during a market shift, right? So they're gearing up. And it's a great time to work with them. It's a great time just to even have your past clients or people that you should be approaching and saying, hey, have you ever thought about investing in real estate? I mean, gosh, what a beautiful thing to do, you guys, investing in real estate with these 4% interest rates. Are you kidding me? Everyone has a story. I bought a condo for $77,000 way back when my mother-in-law was moving here to help us take care of our daughter, Bethany, who was a newborn baby at the time, is now 22. And we needed help. And so she was going to move out and help take care of her, and she needed a place to live. And so I thought, well, gosh, if you need a place to rent, you may as well rent from us. And so we bought this condo and we rented it to her for $700 a month. Well, guess what's happened now? Fast forward to the future, that condo is now worth probably $575. The rents went from $700 a month to about $2,500 per month. And the rents are going to keep going up and up and up, most likely, because there's no place to build, right? And so was that a good investment? Yeah. Should I have bought the whole complex? Yes. I wish I would have, right? Do you have anybody that's in that situation, you think? Yes, absolutely you do. Everyone has a story. You all have your own stories about, oh, I had the opportunity to buy this and I didn't, or somebody who did. So you should be talking to people about investing in real estate as well. So we're not just talking about conversations for commercial. We're talking about conversations for investors, who is almost everybody. See? So the reason I said that is because that opens up the whole Pandora's box. It opens up this whole window of people that you could be thinking about on strategizing how you're going to go about this and who you're going to contact. But, if you just got up and so here's a question for you. How many conversations do you have on a daily basis? Put this in the chat bar for Stephen, please. How many conversations do you have? Look at last week and on average, and this week, and just give us an answer. Do you have 6 to 8? Do you have more than 6 to 8? Do you have 0? Do you have any conversations on a daily basis? So Stephen, shout out what you're seeing there with these answers as they come in. You should have, I'll give it just a minute.
Yeah, I have 2 to 3 from Tom, 10 to 15, 5, 4, 5, 2 to 3, 5 to 7. Not enough.
Right.
Joe, I love it.
Good for you, Joe.
Yeah.
Right. That really is the answer, isn't it? I mean, for the most part. But hey, listen, if you did nothing else, if you said, okay, why am I not making as much money as I really want to make? This is it right here. If you look at people who are having a bunch of conversations, their income is tied to their conversations. It's such a simple business. This business is so simple. We tend to complicate it, but it really is a simple business. Just talk to people. It's a numbers game. You've heard that before. It really is true. And then it becomes, well, what do I say? Who do I approach? How do I do it? That's sure, those are valid things. But the reality is, if you just got up every single day and you had conversations 6 to 8, the rest would take care of itself. Now, I always like to suggest that you do it in the morning, do it first thing, get it done, get it out of the way, time block. I'm a huge fan of time blocking. I like to do 9 to 11, 9 to 12, and get it done. And I'm going to create a 3-foot circle. So there's a 3-foot circle that goes around me during my most important time, which is building my business, where nobody can get to me. Nobody. Dana, Stephen, my wife, my daughter, nobody. Why? Because it can wait. It can wait. The phone is over here. It's on vibrate mode. I'm not looking at that phone. And oh, by the way, if there's anybody who can't wait, then they're not working with me. I don't want to work with them if they can't wait for me to get done. Are you kidding? You can't wait 2 hours till I'm done. It's that urgent. What's that urgent? Oh, the building's on fire. Great. Did you call the fire department? I don't see flames yet. I'm still prospecting. Okay. And Stephen knows that's how serious we are about lead generation. Stephen, you have a quick story you want to tell them about lead generation for your own experience?
Well, just you guys, when he says you can't get a hold of him, and I didn't understand this when I first started working with Michael, I was a lot younger, but we would be in the same office, desks almost back to back. And if it was lead generation time and I had a question, I had come into the business to really take over Michael's residential business so he could focus on commercial. And we 20 to 35 listings on the board, lots of angry callers or sellers, especially after the weekend, with all kinds of questions. And if I had a question, I was literally on my own. So I learned the importance of staying focused, because what would happen was lead generation would be over. We would get to all those things, not at the time that I wanted to, but the time that was allotted for it. We'd solve all that. But more importantly, we were seeing commercial listings coming in because Michael was doing what he needed to do, which was time blocking and prospecting. So don't let these comments scare you. Trust me, they're going to help your business. Trust the process.
Absolutely. Yeah. Thanks for chiming in there. Yeah. And just get it done in the morning and just focus on your business. And again, everything can wait. There's nothing that's so urgent that it can't wait an hour or two. Again, you guys, that's it. I could click the end button right now and say, just go do that. And that literally would help your business grow. And if you needed to go from 2 to 3 hours, that would be it. If you need to go to 1 to 2 hours, that would be it. That needs to happen. I mean, it's just so important, especially as you enter into a shifting market. You got to do more of it. It's just leads and conversations. Okay. So what makes it easier is, number one, do it every day so you don't get behind. And this is is systemizing your business. So in residential real estate, when we did 100 deals a year, everything was systemized. And so we get into commercial real estate and I'm like, where's the systems for this? And there are no systems. It's like it's a wild, wild west. So we started putting systems in place, and this is kind of what it looks like. Save yourself time, energy, and money is what makes it a system. And it means it's automated. It means if it's up to me, I'm going to break down. I'm going to get sick. I'm going to go on vacation. Something's going to happen. I'm going to get busy and I just didn't do it. But if it's automated, it's going to happen with or without me. And that's what we're talking about here. That's what makes it a system, is it happens with or without you. And then we customized our systems for commercial real estate. So when we were in residential doing 100 deals a year, we had a farm. Maybe you're familiar with that term, farming, right? In commercial, we got into commercial real estate and we created a grid. And it's called the grid because we dissect areas. And we focus on areas, and we focus on areas based on what's called diminishing return on equity, diminishing ROEs, which I'll show you what that means. I wanted to back up for a second here because I asked you to write down that you use systems to generate leads, then scripts to convert, but I didn't. I kind of went off on that, so I just want to tie that down. You use systems, those systems that we just showed you. You're going to grab them, the ones you decide, the 4 that you really like, and that's how you go get leads. And then you use good scripts and USPs to convert. So a script might be, I meet Stephen, an investor, either in person, which we're not doing as much anymore as we used to at a networking event, say, for example, a commercial investment networking event, or I just meet him at an open house, or I meet him on a Zoom and I'm hitting him up in the chat bar. What we normally do is hi, I'm Michael. What do you do? What do you specialize in? Tell me about your types of investments. Right? What am I doing? I'm just thinking of questions. What do we call that? Winging it, right? That's normally what we do, right? I mean, I've been around for 30 something years. I've seen what we do. Think about it. We don't have canned scripted things in our head for the most part. When we meet people, we're supposed to be having conversations, but yet when we meet them, we just come up with whatever comes to our head. I mean, it's crazy that we do this. Unless we're lead generating and we have scripts, that's a little different. Most of us are familiar with that, but you should have, I call it an elevator script, so that when I meet somebody, here's what I'm going to say to them. I'm going to say, do you have a certain split requirement that you're looking for? Oh, great. You're probably looking to purchase something with upside potential. Most of the investors I meet are looking to purchase something with upside potential. Oh, that's awesome. So you're looking to do a value play versus something that's vanilla. Oh, wonderful. So are you looking to invest horizontally, or are you looking to invest vertically? So that's a canned script that's in my head. It's called an elevator script. And that's an example of how you convert, because those questions, what I just used, are converting questions that are going to get Stephen to say, what? Horizontal? Vertical? What's he talking about? Right? He's not going to admit that he doesn't know what I'm talking about. But in his head, he's going, wait a minute, I'm not hearing some of these things from some of these other agents out there. Maybe I should understand what those mean. And then he might say something like, well, I haven't really thought about that, Michael. What do you suggest? And I'm going to say, oh, that's a good question. I'm glad you're asking. This is probably not the time or the environment to get into all that. Can we get together tomorrow at 2, or is Thursday at 11 work better for you? See, so I'm using these scripts to convert. Okay, so scripts are really powerful. And by the way, everything I just said, we teach tomorrow, 1-day course. We teach it in our 3-day course. We teach it in our series that we do that's free. So we have a little bit more time. We can go through all of that with you and explain everything that I just said, in case you don't know what some of those things mean. But I wanted to give you a quick example of how you use scripts to convert. So these are systems. And when we first did this, we customized it for commercial real estate. So again, grid for sellers, diminishing ROE, which I'll explain to you today before we get out of here. Internet system, which is for buyers. So in residential real estate, we had a website that was generating leads for us in residential. Okay. And then we got into commercial real estate and we started looking around and we're like, gosh, nobody has any websites in commercial real estate that are lead generating for them. And so I started asking, and everyone said, oh, well, that doesn't work. That's residential. That doesn't work for commercial. And so I said, oh, okay, well, let me show you. And so we built this killer commercial website that generates leads for us. And it generates 5 commercial leads a day, 5 commercial leads a day. And then we have the ability to use these two systems and work them together. So we double in our listings using our internet system. And then we have buyers that are looking for pocket listings and things like that. We go to the grid system. So these two really work hand in hand. The sphere and referral system is for automatically going after your past clients in your sphere, the people that you know. And then the force system is market of the moment. It could be maybe short sales, REOs, expireds, if the market continues to shift, or maybe it's more of a marketing system, depending on press release system, depending on what's going on in your market. Because remember, the market doesn't stay the same, right? It constantly changes, as we saw this year. That the market has shifted a little bit this year, and then it kind of got better. And right now that residential market is just screaming along pretty much everywhere. But that's not going to continue. Why? Because it doesn't continue. It never does. It always changes. So when the market changes, whenever that is, when the market changes, you change, right? If you keep doing business the same way and the market's changing, well, that's where the risk comes in. So I like to plug in one or more of these systems into our 4 systems there, and we use them depending on what's going on in the marketplace, as well as your strengths and your personality style. You want to match your personality style and your strengths to the systems that you're using. But in in general, you should, in our opinion, I like to have sellers, buyers, referrals, right? So these are always going to stay constant for us. It's this fourth one that we're changing. We're watching. We are real estate economists, Stephen and I, and what we're doing is we're constantly watching what's going on. We're projecting ahead and saying, what's around the corner? What are we thinking? And what should we be doing now to prepare for that? It's really a good way to go. And then, by the way, when you have these systems in place that are automated and that's shooting leads to you, it makes it so much easier for you to have 6 to 8 conversations every single day. So that's number one. Number two is budget and marketing. You want to have some expenses, but you don't want to spend everything you've got, but you need to go into this knowing it's my business and I need to spend some money. And it should be about 10% of your desired GCI. So if I guess I'm catch my breath this morning, hard workout. If I want to make $300,000 of GCI next year, I should plan a budget of $30,000, 10%, just for marketing. Okay, so roughly dedicate 10%. Think about this for a second. I'm going to open a new real estate company. Here's my new model. I've been thinking about this, and here's my new real estate model. My real estate model is no expenses. I don't want to have any office. I don't want to have any conference room. I don't want to have any phones. I don't want to have any internet. I don't want to have any lease copy machines. I don't want to have any staff. Those staff cost money. And I can't stand prospecting. I don't want to recruit, which is prospecting for property for an owner, real estate owner. But I don't want to go after real estate agents. I don't really, if they come over, great. If not, it's okay. Because I just don't want to be proactive about lead generation. So, how do you like my business model? Probably not very good, right? It's probably not going to last because no one's going to want to work at a company where there's nothing, right? There's no value proposition. There's nothing there. So it's a joke. It's laughable, right? But yet there's real estate agents that say exactly that. Oh, I don't want to lead generate. I don't like calling people. I don't like talking to people. And I don't want to spend any money, right? Okay, well, do you own a business? Because I don't know any business that can get away with that. You're a business owner. Act like a business owner. And if you don't want to be a business owner, then be an employee, right? But if you're going to be a business owner, you got to get in your mind, I have a business, I need to spend money, I need to spend money properly, and I've got to lead generate and prospect and talk to people so that I can get incoming business, okay? So 10% is number two. All right, number three is you want to delegate and focus on the 4 high-dollar activities. So take a picture of this or jot it down. These are the things that you really should do, that you get paid a high level. You get paid at a high level to do these: list, sell, negotiate, and prospect. Really only you should be taking listings unless you have a good listing specialist. Only you should be showing and selling unless you have a great buyer's agent. Only you should be negotiating unless you have a really good admin or somebody on your team that's really good at negotiating. And really only you should be lead generating or prospecting. Unless you have a telemarketer or a door knocker or somebody who's going to help you prospect. And by the way, I'm a huge fan of telemarketers. Stephen and I love telemarketers. We've hired numerous telemarketers over the years. I'm a huge fan of telemarketers. I could do an hour and a half just on telemarketing. It's a great thing to consider. Okay, those are the 4 high-dollar activities. Now, I did some math. And if you want to make an extra $100,000 next year, just $100,000 additional income, and you want to have some time off and work, say, 45-hour weeks and take a couple weeks off for the year and things like that, you have to make $45 an hour to do that. Okay, so you have to make $45 an hour in order to make just an additional $100,000. So when somebody is working on a flyer or they're doing their own file, they don't want to hire a transaction coordinator, which, my goodness gracious, if you're not using transaction coordinators, what are you thinking? You don't have to pay them unless you close, right? So there's no risk. Oh, but Michael, I like to handle my files myself. Oh, really? Does it take away from your time listing, selling, negotiating, prospecting? Probably. Am I a detail-oriented person? No, I hate details. I'm terrible. at details. Who do you think should be handling the paperwork? Michael Simpson or somebody who's structured and organized like Dana? The answer is somebody who's structured and organized like Dana. In fact, all my offices, before I sold them all my offices knew, don't give Michael paperwork. I'll just lose it. I'll mess it up. It's not, what am I good at? I list, I sell, I negotiate, I prospect. I'm really good at that. So stay in your zone and then delegate to the weaknesses. Okay. And these are things. Now, remember, I told you this is going to feel a little bit like pressure, like somebody's pushing you. It might be happening to you. Don't take it personal. Don't take it wrong. I'm a little blunt. I'm a little direct, but these are things that you need to hear. And then okay, if I'm not making the money that I want to make, well, at least you know why that is. And then you can fix it if you want to, right? And so you just spend your time, list, sell, negotiate, prospect, delegate the rest, TC. I remember when I had my virtual assistant, by the way, virtual assistant VAs, gosh, now don't get mad. We had somebody on one of our webinars, our series, who got mad when I said this. And I'm the messenger. I'm just telling you what's out there. And she got really mad at us for saying it, but it's true. And that is that you can hire virtual assistants for $4 an hour, $3 an hour. Kevin Simpson, one of my top coaching members, he's going to be on the top agent panel. You guys got to go see him. I mean, this panel is going to be really good. If you're available, he'll be on it. But I remember he said, you know what, Michael, I just hired I'm looking to hire another virtual assistant. I really like this person there in the Philippines. I think he said, I really like them, but they want $5 an hour, and there's no way I'm paying $5 an hour. And I was just cracking up because he hires virtual assistants. He has like 6 of them, and he writes some training manuals for them, and he won't pay more than $4 an hour. Okay, now, again, don't get mad at me for saying this. I'm sharing what's out there, and the people who are out there willing to do this work appreciate the fact that you're hiring them. Okay, but and the other thing is they used to have accents and not really be really up to speed on what you need. Not anymore. They have gotten really good at learning that real estate agents are weak in certain areas, like their CRMs, customer relations management systems, and organization and calling and things. So they've gotten really, really good, you guys. It's worth looking into. No more excuses why you're doing the detailed stuff, the paperwork stuff. Those are just excuses. You don't need to do that stuff anymore. There's no reason. If you're willing to list, sell, negotiate, and prospect, you don't need to do that stuff. You can have other people do it. Okay, so keep that in mind. And again, if you decide to do this stuff instead of the top 4 or the high dollar activities, then whose decision is it? It's yours. And so when you're not making the money you want to make, who do you blame? Yourself. You look yourself in the mirror and say, I'm the reason that I'm not making. I'm the reason I can't buy this Christmas present. I'm the reason I can't do this for my kids. I'm the reason. Okay, or fix it and then say, guess what? I'm the reason that I can buy this. I'm the reason we can go on this vacation. I'm the reason we can do these things, that I can do these things for you. It's because it's up to you. It really is. So those are the 4 high dollar activities. Real quick, I remember when I hired back early on in the 90s, and I remember I was going to go to 10 listings a month. And I'll never forget this day. I was driving over the bridge of Del Amo, going back to my office. I heard this tape. It was cassette tape. That's how old it is. Not me, but it. And they were talking about going to 10 listings a month. And so 10 listings a month? Wow, I never thought about that. I can do that. And so I set my mind to do it. And I did it. I literally did it the next month. Now I took a couple of overpriced listings that month to hit that goal, but I did do it. I hit 10. And I realized I couldn't do that without help. I had to have an assistant. So I went and I hired an assistant. And so she came in, and I don't have a big budget and money. I don't come from money. And she was coming in, and we literally shared a desk. And so she was coming in the next morning. I was thinking, oh my gosh, this person's coming in. Oh my gosh, I'm going to have to pay this person. I want to make sure they're busy. I don't want to make sure they're not wasting time. So I started looking at my side of the desk. I said, well, you know what? I don't have to do that. She can do that. I moved that stuff over there. And I said, well, I don't need to do that either. She could do that as well. And so I moved everything over to her side of the desk. And then I looked at my side of the desk, and I didn't have anything. And I thought, uh-oh, now what do I have to do tomorrow when I come in? I have to get out there, list, sell, negotiate, and prospect. right? And so that's what we do. Oh, but Michael, I don't like listings. Mm-mm. I don't like selling. I don't like showing property. Oh, I can't stand negotiating. Oh, and prospecting and lead generating. No. Right. Well, maybe you shouldn't be a real estate agent. Maybe you should be on somebody's team and or an admin or something. Okay. So again, match your strengths to the business that you're in, and this is it. This is our business. It's list, sell, negotiate, and prospect, and you got to like it. You have to be willing to do these things. Otherwise, you should reconsider. So wanted to share all of that with you on the there was something else I was going to share. Oh, that's what it was, is my assistant direct just rock star, superstar talent, and you have capacity talent and cul-de-sac talent. Okay, so what does capacity talent do? Capacity talent says, Michael, why are you working on that flyer? I can do that. Here, let me take that, Michael. Why are you here? Go get me some business, Michael. Get on that phone. Talk to somebody, right? I'm not going to buy or sell anything from you. That's what capacity talent does. They push you. They elevate you, okay? Cul-de-sac talent, what they do is they sit there and they don't do anything. They get the job done, and then they're sitting there. You look at them and you wonder, you come back into the office and they're sitting there staring at the phone or staring at the computer, and you're thinking, why aren't you doing anything? Oh, I didn't know what to do next. Well, how about grabbing a broom? Do something, right? That's what cul-de-sac talent does, is they wait for you to tell them what to do next. Where capacity talent says, you know what, I got that done already, and I wasn't sure what you wanted me to do next, so I went ahead and I started doing this and this and this, right? They're at least attempting to stay busy and help you. That's the difference. And if you hire talent will help you. Talent will say, look, I want to help you. I want to help your business grow, and I want to grow with you. And maybe, guess what, as I grow, maybe I can get paid more along the way. That's talent. That's capacity talent. And that's what I look for over and over again. That's what we have here with Stephen and Dana, is capacity talent, because we don't want somebody who's just going to just do the very minimum and then wait to be told what to do next. So keep those things in consideration when you're making a hire. And then if you're willing to make a hire, and then don't look at it as a year. So if I'm going to hire somebody, we're getting ready to hire somebody right now. As a matter of fact, we're looking for another team member to work with Stephen at the business development side. What we're not doing is looking at the annual expense and saying, oh my gosh, it's going to be this much for the whole year. I don't think I can afford that. Don't do that. Look at 90 days. Look at 30, 60 days. And so what you do is you say, okay, this is a 90-day plan. This is a 90-day temporary position for you. And at the end of 90 days, we're going to reevaluate. And guess what? If we are exactly where we are today, the job's done. You're over. You're gone. It's not going to work. On the other hand, if we've gone from here to here, or we can look and say, wow, look at what's happened since you've come aboard in 90 days, then we can make it a permanent position. See, so I'm not looking at the new hire as an annual expense and going, oh my gosh, it's so much. I'm not doing that. I'm just saying, look, it's only 3 months. It's maybe even 30 days, because I'm going to look at it after 30 days and make sure things are changing. I can't stress to you enough the importance of delegating and hiring talent to your team. It's super, super important, which is why I spent so much time on this particular one. Okay. But just in closing, as I move off of this, if I hire Dana and Dana frees up 2 hours of my day, and I go kick back on my couch and say, oh, this is great, I don't have to do anything for 2 hours, that's not a return. I'm not going to get a return on my money. Okay. On the other hand, if I say, great, I got 2 hours, who can I talk to about listing, selling, negotiating, prospecting? Well, that's when I'm going to get my return. Hands down, over and over again, every single time, I'm going to get my return on my money, because I know if I do what I'm supposed to do, I'm going to get my money back times 10, times 5. Okay. So it's up to you. It's not up to anybody else. It's you. If you are willing to do the work, I'm taking away all the excuses. We're stripping all of them. Okay. So for a lot of us, we don't want to have our excuses stripped. We want excuses, because excuses are our blanket that we can hide under, right? But for some of us on here, and for some of us out there, we're hurting. We want to know, and we're willing to do what we need to do. So we want to know what we need to do and how to make more money, and we're willing to do the work. If that's you, then I'm stripping away all the excuses and showing you exactly what you need to do. All right. Number 4 is you must have a unique value proposition. Develop a unique selling proposition, a value proposition. You've probably heard of this, and how when you meet somebody and they say, "Oh, what do you do? I see you have a name badge, a real estate badge. You know, what do you do?" Right? Or maybe you don't have a badge and they ask you what you do. You should be able in 30 seconds to say, "Boom, here's what I do," and tell them what you do and why. Even more importantly, not so much what you do, but why they should work for you, why they should hire you instead of the competition. Right? If there's 20 agents in a room, and somebody says, "What makes you different than all these other agents in here?" Hopefully you've got a good answer quickly, so that you can stand out from everybody else. So that's a unique selling proposition. And here's some other examples of unique selling proposition that we use to get to the table. I'll sell your property in 90 days or I'll buy it. I'll save you $100,000 on your next purchase or I'll give you my commission. Our grid system, which I'll show you today, what that is, ROE versus ROI, after-tax ROI versus CC, cash on cash, IRR, internal rate of return versus ROI, return on investment. Trade program, trade program works so well for us. Inquire now to learn more about our unique trade program. And then we put banners and signage up in and marketing pieces everywhere we can that say big letters, "Will Trade." If I could show you how to own 40 units free and clear in 15 years instead of the 10 units you presently own, would you be interested in meeting with me? Who wouldn't want to do that? If I could show you how to own 40 units free and clear in 15 years instead of the 10 units you now, would you be in? No. If I could show you how to own 40 units free and clear instead of the 10 units you presently own, not interested. You're not interested in learning how you could own 40 units free and clear instead of 10? See, they're not saying no to this. They're saying no to you right now. Just not now. Not a good time. That's all. So no isn't really just not now. List your property with me and I guarantee I'll sell it in less than 30 days for 98% more of list price. How about the board stats or CoStar stats for us commercial folks out there? Mostly, if you're not familiar with CoStar is a database that we use in commercial real estate because the MLS is not typically used all the time for commercial real estate. What's our average sales price? Do you know your average sales price of the product type that you're specializing in? Do you know the average sales price of the real estate market that you're selling property in, whether it's residential or commercial? Do you know the average days on market? Should you? The answer is yeah, you absolutely should, because then you can use them as USPs. The average broker is selling these product types for $2 million. We've sold 15 of these product types in the last 8 months for the average sales price of $2,225,000, and we did it in less than 21 days, right? So these are things that you can put together for marketing messages. Who knows what an FFP is on here? Put it in the chat bar if anybody on here. Tell me if we get any yeses, and I'll come back to that. Tell me if you know what an FFP is. I'll circle back. I'll go through the rest of these, and then I'll see if there's anybody who knows what that is. If you do, just put yes and put what the answer is, and I'll come back to it. Would it be helpful if I helped you determine that and achieve it faster? Items of value, searchable websites. Inquire now about our unique R system, which is our automated rental survey system. Consulting versus selling. You guys don't sell, consult. Help people, lead with value. Do you have any answers to that, Chief?
None.
So FFP is your financial freedom point, and it's so important. Financial freedom point is the amount of money that you need to make. Number one, you should know what it is for yourself and your family. And number two, you should know what it is for helping others. So it's the amount of money that you need to make so that you could live the lifestyle that you want to live and never have to work again. So you take all of the bills that you've got and how much it costs you to live, and that's your FFP. And then you need to make that money every month. And when COVID kicked in, remember when COVID kicked in, everybody remembers this. When COVID, we'll never forget, when all of a sudden we got shut down, real estate wasn't even essential for a minute there before we became essential. I'm sure, I know for me, I started thinking, holy cow, where's my income going to come from? I was not expecting this right in the hot time of the year, March. And so, you know, sooner or later, we all die, right? We all stop working at some point, whether we like it or not. Where's your money going to come from? And that's what COVID should have done for you, is it should have woke you up and made you realize, man, money doesn't just keep coming in forever. At some point, I could possibly stop. And when that happens, then what? Right. And so your FFP is your financial freedom point number that you need to make every month in order to sustain that lifestyle that you want to live. Okay. And so that's a real important number that you, once you've got it in your head, what it is in your family, share it with everybody. Here's what we're trying to do. We're trying to get enough passive income coming in so that we can have that number coming in so that we don't have to work anymore if we don't want to work anymore. It's super important. Stephen and Dana and I have been doing a lot of stuff with NAR. And I was on the phone with Bill a while ago, the past president for NAR, and he said, Michael, you know, 50% of real estate agents retire and get out of the business and they don't even own one asset. They don't even own their home. 50%. I thought, oh my gosh, 50%. Are you kidding me? 50% of the people make all this money, have all these commissions. We see deals come right and left, and we pass and we don't do it, right? And we let somebody else take the wealth. That's not good. You know, buy and own and get your FFP taken care of so that you can, you know, work if you want to work, right? And have that pressure off of you, and then help others do the same thing. So you use it as USPs and scripts. What's your FFP? Most people are going to say, no, I'm not quite sure. You know, they're not going to, people don't want to admit they don't know, right? And so they're not going to say, I don't know. And then you say, well, it would be helpful if I helped you determine yours. See, I'm not saying, do you want me to explain what it is? I'm not saying that to an investor or a person because I don't want to embarrass them. So would it be helpful if I helped you determine yours and helped you achieve it faster? Who's not going to be receptive to that? Okay. So it's a really good thing. What we're doing is we're meeting people. We're using systems to lead generate, and we're using scripts and unique selling propositions to convert. We're asking great questions. Where do you see yourself in 2 years? Where do you see yourself in 5 years? See, we're trying to help them achieve their goals faster because remember, people are looking to exit for the most part. Why are people investing in real estate? They want an exit plan, an exit strategy. And so what they'll do is they'll invest in real estate so that they can stop working at some point in the future, right? Well, what if you could show people how to do it faster, right? What if you could help them get this done faster? And that's how you do it, is you ask questions to try and figure out where they are. Oh, you know what, Michael, gosh, I never really thought of it this level, but you know, when I can make $150,000 of passive income, that's it. That's my FFP. Now that you taught me what that is, that's my FFP. I can make $150,000. I don't have to work anymore. I can live the lifestyle I always wanted to live. Oh, that's great. How long do you think that's going to take you? Well, right now it's looking like 10 years. Okay, about 10 years. If I could show you how to do that in half the time, if I could show you how to do that in 5 years instead of 10, would that be valuable for you? Oh my gosh, yeah, that'd be great. Can you really do that? Well, yes, I can, because I'm a certified real estate investment planning specialist. And I help people achieve their goals faster through written real estate investment plans. Here, let me show you. By the way, guess what one of the designations is you get when you take our 3-day course? You get the Certified Investment Real Estate Planning Specialist designation. You're all creeps. You're all creeps when you get this designation. We really didn't think that through really well when we did this, but it's been working really good. So this is one of the designations you get when you take the class. And by the way, we've done this down there in the San Diego board. We did it a couple years ago with Shirley. Shirley's a huge fan. We love Shirley's board and your board there. Shirley's always been an advocate for us and brought us in year after year after year. I mean, we've been going down there for, I don't know, 6-7 years. So we really appreciate the opportunity. And these are things that we were doing there live when we could. But these are the designations that we give to you when you take that 3-day course. Now, Michael, how do you help people achieve their goals faster? How do you do that? Well, here's some things that I'll show you. And right now, I don't have time to really show you, in depth, but I want to skim and kind of give you some examples of how we do this. And then if you are on here and you're saying, this looks pretty good, I'd like to learn this, well, then just go to our 3-day course and we'll show you how to do it at a high level. I mean, there's difference between an hour and a half and 3 days. All I'm doing is I'm blowing up the bottom and I'm blowing up the center, okay? So here is the center, and you can see the return is 2%, right? So we call this cash on cash, CC, which is an ROI before taxes. So Stephen, put this in the chat bar for them, would you? There's 3 different types of return on investment: before tax, CC, which is called cash on cash; after tax, and internal rate of return. Internal rate of return takes into consideration all the gains and all the losses the entire time they own the asset, okay? So there's 3 different types of returns on investment: before tax, after tax, and IRR. This 2% is really low, but it's before taxes. See, and so what happened is we were writing this offer up, and this investor's like crunching the numbers, shaking his head, and he goes, gosh, 2%. Michael, why am I buying this? And I said, well, remember the benefits of owning real estate. The benefits of owning real estate are taxes saved, interest paid, principal reduction, and depreciation. When you take those things into consideration, your return is actually much, much higher. Here, let me show you. So Stephen, put that in the chat bar if you would, the benefits of owning real estate. Taxes saved, interest paid, principal reduction, depreciation. Of course, appreciation is also a benefit, but we don't always have appreciation across the United States. It goes up, it goes down, right? But we always have those other 4 benefits as long as the government doesn't change those laws. So what we're doing is we're showing them the benefits of owning real estate and how it impacts their return. Before taxes, it's a 2% return. After taxes, what we're doing is we're taking the NOI, we're subtracting the interest paid. The interest paid is the amount of the loan that's going towards interest. And all I'm doing is calculating the first year of interest. We're depreciating the property. Do we depreciate the land or the building? We depreciate the building, right? So I'm using the straight line method, which is what that is, and depreciating the asset over 27 and a half years, which is the multifamily residential time frame for depreciation. Commercial would be 39. Residential would be 1 house or 1,000 units. It'd be 27 and a half. Once we've done that, now we are, now we've calculated the depreciation. And then when we've done that, we can plug the taxes saved back on the top, add in the principal reduction. You can see my total after tax return is 19,000. So my return on investment after tax is almost 8%. So when the investor said that, I said, well, remember the benefits of owning real estate: taxes saved, interest paid, principal reduction, depreciation. You can see your return is actually almost 8. How do you feel now about buying this property? And that investor said, oh yeah, I knew all that. Yeah, keep going. See, so it got the investor off the fence. That's what that did. Before tax, risky when you're using that because the returns are typically low, especially in California, where you really should be using after tax return on investment because it's a better return. It takes in consideration all the benefits of owning real estate. And then IRR, internal rate of return, is what your high level investors, your REITs, your real estate investment trusts, your syndicators. If we buy real estate together in this room, we're syndicating. We're usually going to look at IRR because it takes into consideration all the gains and all the losses. Okay, now that's a little fast, and certainly was fast because I'm running out of time and getting down to the last bit here. I wanted to do that quickly. Also mention to you, if it's a little complex, it's normal. We do these kinds of webinars for full-time commercial firms, and I got to tell you, most of the commercial brokers don't know this. They don't get it. They don't understand it. Okay. Most of them. Now, you have your 80-20 rule, right? So you have guys like Joe, who's on here today. You have your folks who really know what they're doing. They're doing a lot of business. They've been around for a little bit. They're experienced, knowledgeable, professional, like we suggest in that first slide. Your top 10%, 5%, 1%, they know this stuff in and out, forwards and backwards. But again, what percentage is that? 1%, 5%, 10%? It's not a high percentage. So the reasons that we have succeeded at such a high level, and the reason that you can succeed at such a high level, is not because I'm smart, not because we look better or anything like that. It's because we are willing to learn. We're students of the game. We're willing to be professionally trained and get skilled. That's it. That's the reason that we do so well. And that's the reason why you can do so well if you really want to. Okay. But you got to invest the time. You have to say, okay, I'm willing to go take these classes and get skilled and trained up. I had to do that. There's no shortcut here. There's no magic bullet. Okay. So that's one way to help them achieve their goals faster through written real estate investment planning strategies. Now I've got to show you the 2 things before I get out of here. I want to show you what happens when people don't take advantage of leverage and when they pay all cash and how that impacts a deal. And then this awesome diminishing return on equity concept, when people are sitting on equity, how their returns starts to decline and go backwards. But I want to pause for just a minute, and I want to get you guys the information on this class that we've got coming up, because we've got a couple of them that are really good, and we're down to the wire on the events, before the end of the year. So I want to share this with you really quick, and then I'll go back, and then I'll end with those topics, and then I'll get to the last two laws that we have for you, and we'll get you guys out of here. Just give me just a second here. Any pressing questions there, Chief?
Yeah, you're going to do it, but Joe had asked if you could elaborate a bit more on the grid system, which you're going to do here before we wrap up. And then there was one more question from Brandy. Do you use the same CRM for residential and commercial?
Okay. Yeah, so I'm going to hit the grid for sure, and then I can answer that question as well. Can you see my screen okay?
Yep.
Okay, so let me get you this information so you know what some of your next steps would be if you guys wanted to say, hey, where do I go from here? Just remember, our goal, our mission is to get you skilled and knowledgeable, okay, so that you can provide value. And you have a couple of different ways that you can do that. You can figure things out on your own, read books, challenges there. If you make a mistake, it can ruin your reputation. You can also, it's not necessarily going to show you how to go get new business. You could take college courses. I know UC Irvine has a college course of $15,000 you could go through. It's going to take some time and money. And again, it's not necessarily going to show you how to go get new business. Or you can learn in 3 days at a low price from an industry insider with a proven track record. We launched this company years ago, like 7, 8 years ago. We just realized there's so much demand for commercial real estate training and how to work with investors. So we launched this company. Take a picture of this. Well, I crop the top just a little bit. Take a snapshot, or whatever you're doing there, screen capture. We have December 1, 2, 3, and 4. Then we have a bonus half day. This is a virtual. All this is all virtual, and we're partnering up with NAREB to do this event. And it's a bonus half day. So it's 1, 2, 3 days. And then we've got a half day where we talk about mentoring and the programs that are available for you. Okay. So I know that question came up. We also are doing one with EXP. If you really have to be an EXP agent in order to do that, I think, because that's going to be in their virtual world. So if you happen to be with EXP, and this is coming up, this just was scheduled yesterday with Jim. December 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So this is a power packed event, because you're getting a bonus 1.5 days. So you could go through what we call an intermediate class. Right now you're maybe in an intro class. You go to an intermediate class, a 3-day, and then you could take the advanced course right after that, like 2 weeks later or a week later. You come out of December positioned and poised to just crush it in 2021, hands down, if you do these things. Okay, so there's a plan for you. So what are we going to cover in these classes? The scripts, necessary contracts that we use. So we use LOIs, NDAs, NCNDAs, LOIs. We'll give you all of these agreements, as well as scripts. Gosh, there's about 300 pages in this manual that Dana's going to give to you when you take the class. So we won't read it all, but you can always reference back to it. Buyer and seller proposals. Now we give you software so you can create proposal packages and nice presentations. When you take our 3-day class, we give you software that will do that. And then the first thing that's going to happen when you take a listing, someone's going to say, hey, can you send me a setup package? And you need, again, some software that will do that. So our software will give you the ability to put together these setup packages. So what I'm going to do is, right after this, I'm going to launch into that grid system. I want to show you that so you understand how that works, but it's just not enough time. I really need a good 1.5 days, 2 days. So the 3-day course, we really go deep here on how you go about putting that grid system together, how you market to property owners, what you send them, what you say to them, how you market to, stand out, jump off the page. We'll show you all that stuff. We literally pull out all of our marketing and show that to you so you can see it and copy it if you'd like. Bunch of different marketing letters that we use, how how we find properties that are not on the market, because you got to be able to have that conversation with investors about pocket listings, right? So we need to have that conversation. It's critical for commercial real estate. Gosh, you guys realize that you already have clients who are wealthy right in front of you. You have clients who are sitting on equity. I want you to just think about that for a minute. Think of all the people out there who are sitting on equity, because when I come back and show you this diminishing ROE, you're going to go, oh my gosh, because when people are sitting on equity, they're losing money. So I'm going to show you that. You have business owners who want to buy, and you have business owners who want to renew their leases. The reality is, even if the cost of the course were $15,000, it would be worth it, because if you did one small deal at like $725,000 at 2%, you would make that money back. But we always like to ask, what would you do if you had an extra $50,000, you guys? If you had $50,000, a check right now, what would you do with it? You know, would it be maybe pay off some bills, maybe a new car, vacation, pay off some debt, child's college fund? My daughter is out of college now, so I just went through that. Maybe buy an investment property. You know, $50,000 is very realistic. You know, in our market, that's like maybe one deal a year, two at the most. You know, we have coaching members, by the way, and students who are making a lot more money than this. I don't want to like freak you out or make you think, oh yeah, come on. You know, but we have people like Rima Rafay, who's knocking down literally a $300,000 check like every other month. I mean, it's phenomenal. And they're going to be at this top agent panel. So you guys can talk to these people. You can hear firsthand. So, you know, I'm not making this stuff up, but I don't want to freak you out and go too big. Okay. But $50,000 is very doable. That's the message there. So we also added some things since COVID. We added, auctions, the different types of auctions I'm going to go through with you, because those become really popular when a market is shifting. Landlord strategies and how you can go about handling some of these terms that come up, like rent reduction, deferrals, abatements, what they mean. We'll have this conversation with you. The clauses that you can insert in some of these leases to help property owners as well as tenants. We'll go through all of that as well. We're also, it's 3 full days of instruction, your personal reference manual. You get these designations that we've mentioned. Now, again, it's 9 to 5, Monday through Friday, or depending on the days, with a couple of breaks and a lunch here throughout the day. Okay, so that's the schedule. The manual's about 300 pages. You get these designations, so you can stamp them on your letterhead or your business cards when you've attended all 3 days. So you look like a professional broker, commercial broker. We've thrown in all of this, these bonuses, like here's the software, here's what it looks like, year 1, year 2, year 3, all cash. Bunch of different contracts, like I mentioned, your LOIs and NCNDAs and NDAs, so you can take them to your broker or manager or counsel if you're independent, and let them you know, bless the form for you and customize it and use it. A bunch of different lenders that we know are good. A copy of my listing presentation. People love the listing presentation. It's a PowerPoint listing presentation that you can customize and use. What I did is I said, gosh, if they had to buy all of this, how much would it cost? If you spent 3 days with us and you got one deal, what's the value of that? Gosh, it'd be worth, you know, I don't even know, but I put $15,000. So the designations, price list, the software, $1,500. So if we had to buy all that, it would cost about $24,000 to purchase. So again, even if the cost of the course were $15,000, it would be worth it, because you would have all that value for $15,000. But it's not $15,000 for the 3-day course. What we do as a thank you to Shirley and the board is we offer a half price, because if you were to go to our website, you would see it's $1,195 for all 3 days or 3.5 days or 5 days or whatever we're doing. And we offer a half price. It's only $597.50 for all whichever one you go to, 3.5 days or 5 days or 3 days. Okay. $597.50 for half price. So Dana is going to put the link in the chat bar for you. You can just click it and register there. Or if you need to talk to her, you can reach out to her and she can get you registered that way and answer any questions that you might have. If you need a payment plan, she can help you with that as well. Okay, because we want to help you. I know that sounds kind of corny, but if we can get you into December's courses, that you're going to be primed and poised to help a lot of people in 2021 and make a lot of money. So our goal really here is just to help you get in there. So there's the dates again. Take a snapshot of that. And then I'll get back into the presentation here and answer any questions you guys might have, and then we'll wrap this thing up.
I don't have any questions. Michael, I did want to, because Shirley brought it up, and before we lose anybody, I know we're short on time, and I've seen a couple people jump off. We are coming back December 8th. Shirley, I do want to connect with you and talk to you about that class, but we are coming back December 8th to teach the intro to commercial class, which is going to be absolutely phenomenal, answer even more of these questions. But as Michael was saying, all of our training really builds on itself. You're repeating this information isn't going to hurt you in any way. It's actually going to help you become better at it, master it. I talk to people all the time who go to a class once and they hear a couple of good things, they implement it into their business, and then they come back, take the same class over, but now their mindset is ready for the other things that we were saying in that first class. So keep coming back. That's what the series and all these things are for. And we will be back here with Shirley as often as she will let us. So let us help you.
Awesome. So let me get this to you guys. Are you seeing the screen correctly right now?
Yes.
Okay. So this is the doctor scenario. This is the diminishing return on equity. And the doctor bought this property for $1 million. The loan was $750,000. The equity is $250,000. The cash was $25,000. Fast forward to the future. This is a real live scenario. And I'll go through it more when we have more time and talk more about how you do this. The value went from $1 million to $1.8 million. Is it realistic? Yeah, just a matter of time for the most part, depending on where we are and the product type. Loan goes from $750,000 to $650,000. Equity goes from $250,000 to $1,150,000. So the owner's equity went way up and the cash flow went way up, right? So the average investor is looking at this going, wow, I'm doing pretty good. So when you approach this commercial investor and you say what most commercial brokers say, which is, oh, hey, I just drove by your property and I've got a buyer for you. I wonder if you plan to sell anytime soon. Well, who's that about? Number one, that's about me and I'm just selling. And the owner's thinking, you know, why would I sell this? I mean, it's doing really well. See, so that approach is not a really good, effective approach. What we do is we teach you to come at them from the side, provide value, consult, show them how you can help them without any expectation of anything in return. That's what we're talking about here. And when you do that, that door is going to open for you because you're consulting. And they're going to say something about their property, and you're going to show them that here's what's happening. So when we go through our 3-day course, I'll do the whole analysis. I'll teach you how to do the whole analysis. Stephen helps you with the exercises. We give you homework. We give you case studies. We send you home with actual examples of properties that have come to us. We do all of this in our 3-day. But one of the things we do is we show you how to do an analysis on this deal right here the right way. But the short version is you take the cash flow divided by the equity, and that's called ROE, return on equity. And you can see that at the time it was 10%, which is pretty good. Where now you take the cash flow divided by the equity, it's 4. It's 4%. So the equity is diminished. It's gone from 10 to 4. It's going to go from 10 to 4 to 3 to 2. It's going to keep diminishing until this doctor sells his property and gets this debt equity over here from this side of the equation over here to that side of the equation. Put that debt equity back to work. See, and so in theory, whenever a property gets to 50% equity position, they should really consider exchanging that property. So in some parts of the country, you can go 10% down, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. But once it gets here to 50%, they really should consider exchanging this property because they're not getting the return that they could be getting any longer, because they could sell this $2 million property and then they could take the $1 million equity and buy a $4 million property. Would they rather own a $4 million property or a $2 million property? Well, it depends. If I'm living off the cash flow here and I say, you know what, I really have to have this to take care of myself or my family, well, then this doesn't really work for me. But most investors, what are they doing? Most investors are growing so that they can exit, okay? So that's who we're targeting. That's who we're talking about here. If they want to grow and exit, then why are we stopping and sitting on this thing? It's time to exchange it. I can own a $4 million property instead of a 2, or I can go buy 2 more $2 million properties. All right, so that's the diminishing return on equity. The last couple of rules here, and I'm sorry, I'm rushing. I talked a little bit too much in the beginning. The thought I had to have a little bit more time, but so my apologies here for going fast here at the end, but I want to respect your time. The last part of this, write this down. 85% of the people you meet are a complete waste of time. 85%. Nice people. They're just heading east looking for the sunset. And the sun sets in the west, by the way. Nice people, they're just never going to do anything with you. That's all. Okay, so what we want to do is we want to focus on the 15%, the people who are actually going to do something with us. And how do we do that? How do I figure that out? Rules, hoops, questions. You know, we want to have them work with us only if they'll get together in person, or certainly on Zoom. There's no reason why in today's world somebody can't get on a quick Zoom with us and have their camera on. If people won't do that, and so I can meet them real quick, what are my chances of actually closing that deal? Not very high, right? So I'm not going to waste my time because they're the 85%. Or, oh, I don't want to sign anything with you, Michael. Just send me some deals. You know, I'm not signing anything. Oh, really? Okay, you're at 85%. I'm not going to do that. Next, I'm looking for the 15%. Okay, so that's what I like about that one. And then the last one is having some interview. Take charge. Be confident, like a doctor. What does a doctor do? I'm sorry, that's number 7. So model, action, focus, and discipline. Right. Repeat after me. People have gone before me. 1, 2, 3. People have gone before me. Men were really bad with this, including me. But before we had the phones and the GPSs, I'd be driving around lost, and my wife would say, "Why don't we just stop and ask for directions?" No way. I'm not stopping and asking for nothing. Why? Because I know everything, right? I'm a know-it-all. So why would I ask somebody else? Is that smart? Probably not. I mean, there's people who've gone before me. I can model what they're doing. I have 3 coaches right now. I've always had coaches. We had, when I was the number 1 agent in Century 21, the rookie of the year, it was because I latched on to the number 1 agent in the office and said, show me how to do this. I'll be a sponge. When we did 100 deals a year, I couldn't have done that on my own. I had a coach helping me how to do that. When we opened up the franchises, I went to the top people and said, I don't know how to open a franchise. Can you help me? And of course, they love to show you and help you. When we got into commercial real estate, I had the mentor that said, hey, here, let me help you. Let me show you, right? You don't have to do this alone, okay, you guys? There's people that were willing to help you that are out there. Model, action, focus, and have discipline, and don't try to figure it all out on your own. And the last one is the interview. Take charge, have confidence, do business the right way, have a good job with your business. You know, we have a good model. We have a lot of referrals. We have a lot of past clients that come back to us, and we're happy about that. And we like to continue to do a good job with people, but we also have confidence and control in our business, and it's our business. It's not anybody else's business, right? Your business is your business. So you should do it your way and have confidence in the way that your business is being done. And if you don't feel good about it, well, then fix it. But once you feel good about it, you should feel really good about the way you do it and stick to it and do it that way. So I'll end it with this, and then we'll ask if there's any questions and then wrap this thing up. You know, just have fun. Don't take it so serious. Remember, have balance in your life, that, you know, we're not curing cancer here, right? And so keep things a little light and don't take it all too serious. And I love this Grant Cardone quote. It said, no matter where I go, there I am. I love that. No matter where I go, there I am. Well, what does that mean? This suggests to me that I'm both the problem and the solution. This outlook put me in a position of being the cause of the outcome of my life rather than a victim. So just keep that in mind. If you're not making all the money that you would like to make, you can change it. Okay. So that's what I really like about that. All right. So I went over a little bit, and sorry about that. I will wrap up with any questions that might be out there, Chief.
I think we are good on questions. Wait, we just got another one. There's another commercial class for North San Diego on December 2nd. When would be the next date for me to take the 3-day course? So Joe is saying that Shirley's having a class that he wants to attend here on December 2nd. When would be the next 3-day that he could jump into?
Yeah, so we gave you the 2 dates in December, but I see what you're saying where you have a conflict. that course is only an hour and a half. I think I would say do both, take the hour and a half. You're only going to miss an hour and a half. And the way we've done this that day is we're missing a piece where it's not going to be super important because you got a break in there. And we've got Jeff coming in, which is our SBA lender. So we can get you the recording of that part that you missed so that you could do both. That would be my suggestion. Other than that, gosh, I think, what are we looking at, Stephen? March?
March. Yeah. I'm not scheduling it till March.
Yeah. So that would be the answer to that. Anything else?
Not that I can see. Any other questions, you guys?
I see somebody asking about a mentor there. Yes, when you go to the 3-day course, especially what we just did there, where we're doing extra days, those extra days are all about, without going into a bunch of detail, we have partnered with a commercial firm, a full-time commercial firm, and now we have this platform. See, all these years, what we've done is we've said, look, we don't really do mentoring because I'm so busy traveling and everything with Stephen doing classes and me, and we're just so busy that it wouldn't be fair to say we can actually mentor somebody. Well, now we've got a mentor program. We have people across the world, the globe, not just the United States, but the globe, the world, anywhere in the world where we can help. We can plug you in. I just, like I said before, we don't get into it until that 3-day because no one's going to want to take you on. So yes, we'll get into that at the 3-day course for you for sure.
And just to clarify, you guys, the reason Michael's saying the 3-day course, we have classes that teach the basics. When you're talking about mentorship, we're thinking deals. So we don't want to spend time going over the cap rate and the scheduled gross income and all that other stuff. We'd rather you have that information. We give you that information. So when you have a deal, we can really focus on the deal and getting that, helping you get that closed. So that's why he says that. And that's why the system works. So trust the process. If you can come to that 3-day and then jump into the advanced course, you will be qualified for that. Jump into the advanced course. You're really setting yourself up for success when it comes to 2021.
Hey, Dana, can you put those dates in the chat bar? I see somebody's asking about the dates again. I'm going to close that slide out. So.
And I see Joe. Yeah, he kind of clarified. I think we got you covered there, Joe. So let us know if you have any additional questions. Are there any other questions?
Bless you.
Thank you.
There you go. Dana put one of them in there, but here's the other event in case you missed that, Dana. All right. So it looks like we're a wrap. Again, sorry for going over just a little bit.
Shirley, thank you so much.
You don't have to be a member of any of these, Lev. I mean, EXP is you would because you're it's the avatars in their virtual world, unless you have a guest. In fact, you know what? We could probably get you a guest. If those are the only dates that you can do, shoot Dana. Let Dana know, and then we'll figure it out on our end. We'll get you a guest.
I would definitely recommend trying to go to NAREB over EXP though.
Oh, okay. NAREB, you don't have to be a member. Okay. So we have guests that we're doing there. So you don't have to be a member of that entity. Fun stuff. Listen, I just want to encourage you to take the plunge. Go for it and take those classes, or at least the 3-day class. I can pretty much guarantee you will be glad you did. In fact, if anybody says, hey, look, this is not what I thought it was going to be, or is disappointed, all you need to do is on day 1, go see Stephen or Dana and let them know, and we'll give you a refund right then and there. Not a problem. I guarantee you will be glad that you're there. So, and then you're going to be positioned to make a bunch of money next year. So, all right. So, hey, thank you guys so much for your time today. We appreciate it. And reach out to us if you have any questions or need any additional information. Shirley, if you're still there, thank you so much for having us. We appreciate the opportunity. And you guys have a great holiday season. And let's crush it in 2021.
Thank you, Shirley. Talk to you soon.
Bye.
Bye, guys.